Hey there guys, I have some exciting news. I have something for which I need to get ready. It's been a while, and even when it was an option for me, I didn't really do it, so this is a special occasion. So I realized that I need to take some business, professional photographs of myself. I don't really love taking pictures of myself, so I almost never do it. So the only pictures that exist of me are random pictures of me with my child, or YouTube thumbnails, which, tend to just be me taking a screenshot of the point in the video where I made the worst possible face. So anyway, I'm going to take some, hey, it's me, I'm a normal gal pictures. Should be fun. And I'm gonna put makeup on my face for the experience, and I thought I would bring you guys into that. Also see how you're doing, have a little chat about stuff. Let's do an old-fashioned get ready with me. So I do want to point out that the whole concept of business professional, I pretty much hate. So I also think it doesn't mean anything. What does that even mean? But for me personally, it's just kind of how I feel the most comfortable. So I'm going to do a pretty natural look because that's how I feel the most me-like. And I want to be me in a business setting as well as a personal setting. I'm going to start with my complexion, and there's not going to be any major surprises here. So I'm going to use the e.l.f. little vanilla foundation that I've been using. I've been not wearing foundation lately and quite enjoying that, but for pictures, this is kind of the easiest, quickest way to cancel out all my beautiful scarring. I'm just going to dab this on with a damp Alori sponge, and I'm pretty much just applying it where my face has been marred. Also, update on the acne scarring treatment. Still very much looking forward to doing that, but I might have to postpone it a little bit just because I am gonna be having to pay for full-time childcare in the fall now because school doesn't, because Now I'm going to use the UOMA Beauty Concealer, and I'm going to put that under my eyes for a little, hey, she looks like she's well rested. I like your picture. That's what we're going for here. So speaking of my child and his care, he's visiting his dad right now, and I miss him so much. But I have a question for you guys, a math problem, if you will. He is small. Much smaller than me, child-sized even. And somehow, his clothes, they're tinier than mine. They fit his body, which is smaller than mine. His mouth, stomach, also smaller. He eats apparently no food, because when I feed him, I feel like he ate no food. And yet, since he's been gone, my laundry doing and my food budget is 15% of what it is when he's here. How mathematically, numerically, how does that make sense? How can one so small who eats so little be making me spend 85% more on food and do so much more laundry? It doesn't, it's a miracle. So now I'm going to use my mini palette and the light medium bronzer, that guy, and a new trick that I found with my own product. I really just have to give a shout out to my laziness. It serves me so well. It really is the mother of all my innovations. And the other day I realized that a call that I thought was a phone call was actually a Zoom call, and it was happening imminently. And so I was like, oh no. And I have enough time to stand up and dampen my beauty blender, or Alori sponge actually. Yes, absolutely. It would have taken me 30 seconds. And I did have 30 seconds to spare, but it was more I don't want to stand and walk over there. And it seemed strenuous. So I was like, whatever, I'll just use it. It's dry. And so I have the wet one that I was using earlier, and then this dry one. And I used its butt, and I was like, oh shit, this is a really, really This is kind of my new favorite way to apply the tints. I've always liked using my fingers for cream products, but the only thing is sometimes it is a little bit like, well, my finger's a lot smaller than my face, so it takes a minute to cover the groundwork. So a lot of times I use brushes because it's a little speedier. Sponges are my favorite tool, generally speaking, but sometimes they're a little bit big for more precision work, like bronzer and highlight and blush, as opposed to like when I'm putting on base or something. And so it's like, but when it's shrunk down because it's not wet yet and you put it in, I was like, oh, and it also like transfers on really well. It applies a lot more coverage, which these are sheer products, so it's not like or anything, you keep that in mind. But it's perfect though for taking pictures where I do want to bump things up a little bit more than if I were, gonna have somebody's naked eyeball looking at my naked face. Then, that would show more. But in pictures, it washes you out a little bit anyway. So, putting the bronzer on, making myself look bronzed. Take a look, it's in a book. Reading Rainbow. That guy was kind of turning into that. I love Reading Rainbow. Speaking of reading, what are you guys reading? I really, really need some happy books. Some fiction that's just fun and can carry me away into some wonderful stories because, it's a lot going on right now. And I tend to always read nonfiction. And I tend to always listen to it in audiobooks. But lately I've been feeling like I need to sit down and hold a book in a chair and read it and feel something inside, And I would love your suggestions for that. Also, rom-coms. I don't know if you follow me on Instagram. If you don't, you're really missing out. I post like at least every 6 weeks. In my stories, we had a whole thing about rom-com recommendations, and I got like over 100, and it's been really fun. So I would like to hear what your favorite rom-coms are. Please put them in the comments and I'll add them to the list. Lately, I've watched My Best Friend's Wedding, which is such a good movie, other than the fact that Michael sucks so bad and does not deserve either one of them, but he could get it. But Cameron Diaz, you should not give up on school and become an architect to follow him around with his stupid job. That's terrible. Also, Julia Roberts in that movie, I was watching again and I was like, oh yeah, this made me attracted to women. I almost forgot. The scene where she is running around frantically and she's got her amazing sunglasses and then she has her other amazing sunglasses like in her beautiful hair and she's running around frantic with both pairs. I was like, I love you so much. So now I'm going to use the tip and a little bit of warm tan because I want to adjust the finish and I don't want to be like lightening my whole face. So I want to be like a little bit of a sheen because that's going to look nice in pictures. So I'm just like tapping that on around my cheekbone. The greater cheekbone area. I'm telling you, using a dry sponge for this is just, it's where it's at. A little bit on my nose. Why not? Feeling crazy. That's the vibe you want for your business photos. I'm feeling crazy. Who isn't? Am I right? Oh my God. I started picking up the guitar again. So I used to play the guitar for a long time. And then I stopped playing for like the last 12 years. It's been sitting in my various moves. I've hung on to it and I've been like, I should pick you back up again, but I never do. Because here's the thing, I don't love the guitar and that makes it perfect for me right now. Because there's so many things that oh, by the way, now I'm using beige because I do want to highlight a little bit on my actual cheekbone. Right there, actual cheekbone, as this is not less of my cheekbone, but on my highest point of my cheekbone. So anyway, there's so many things that I'm passionate about and that I'm like, I need this to consume me because I love it so much. I just want to drown in music and dancing and singing and all of these things. I take it really seriously. And I'm overwhelmed all the time by how passionate I am about all of these things. And I just want to like eat them and be devoured by them at the same time. It makes me a little stressed because I'm like, there's not enough time to do all of the things that I love. And guitar, I'm like, I like it, but I don't feel the need to become like the ultimate guitarist, you know? I like it. I'm perfectly happy being like campfire level guitarist. It just makes me happy. It's just fun. So I picked it back up again, and now I have a dilemma, and it's this. Because I like finger picking, and I also like having at least one hand of pretty nails. So I trimmed these way down. It's been nice because it's come back pretty quickly, so I'm having a good time with it. But I am just typoing like crazy because my brain hasn't calibrated yet to, like, these are different lengths. It's a really awkward time. And I'm also still trying to figure out the best course of action for now doing my nails, which is an ongoing trend. So I ordered from Static Nails, which I don't know if any of you guys have tried. That should be coming later this week or next week, and I'm really excited to try it, and I'm praying that this is the thing that finally makes my life work, because I started press-ons. I'm going to use, by the way, Rose now on my cheek. I started doing press-ons like right before the pandemic, actually. And I was like, this is it. This is perfect. Oh my God, it looks so perfect. Virgo satisfied. And this is, you know, like so easy, and I can do it at my house, and it's so much cheaper. I love it. But then taking them off is so annoying. And even though they do last for a long time, I hated soaking them myself, and I also hated the waste. I was like, why can't you keep these? Like, why do they have to disintegrate? That seems so stupid. And it did start to wear on my nails more than getting them done in a salon did, just because I think you're doing it a little more often than I was. Like, I could make a salon manicure like last longer because I would get the powder, which is what I have right now. And with the press-ons, it's like they would last a long time, but then like a couple would come off, and then I'd have to re-glue those two. And so then when it would be time to take them all off, most of them would come off easily, but then those two that I'd had to reapply just a couple days ago didn't. And so those nails, and it kind of switched which ones that happened to each time. I'm going on a little bit, but basically it was like, this is almost perfect, except that I don't like it. Anyway, I saw Static Nails. They are reusable, theoretically. And they have their own kind of glue, and they also had some matching nail polish colors. So what I got was the clear press-ons that you can paint with whatever you want. And I got a color that I like, just like a simple kind of pink nude. And also the base coat and top coat. So I'm gonna try like letting my natural nails be on this hand and painting it, and then painting the press-ons the same color and putting them on this hand. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to play with press-ons. It depends on the glue. It makes me a little nervous, but I'm gonna try it. So we'll see. I'll update you. All right, I think I'm feeling pretty good about this complexion. I'm going to do my brows a little bit now. Anyway, I've been really enjoying watching rom-coms lately because I need to feel joy. I watched The Holiday. I love that stupid movie. So unrealistic. Jude Law is so hot in it, and it just makes me happy. It's predictable, and it's unrealistic, and it's adorable, and I love it. Also, when I was like, man, I don't remember finding Jude Law this attractive, I was like, oh, I'm remembering now that when I did my Ron Swanson transformation, a lot of people were like, halfway through the contouring, you look like Jude Law. And I was like, okay, at the time. And then I looked it up because I've never seen the Sherlock movies that he's in. So I think of Jude Law as like pretty much facial, hairless, and blonde. But then when I was thinking about how he's super hot in The Holiday the other day, so obviously Googling pictures of him, I remembered that people had said that I look like him, and I was like, oh, interesting. Do I find Jude Law attractive, or do I just find me attractive? And then I looked up pictures of him in Sherlock, and I was like, oh shit, that really does look like my Ron transformation before it went full Ron. I'll post some pictures because it was making me laugh. I also watched 10 Things I Hate About You. Love that movie, also amazing. Allison Janney is incredible in it. I love when she's talking to Kat and she's holding her mug with a cat on it, and she goes, cat, cat. Also, Heath Ledger is so wonderful in it. I love him. I want to go on a paintball date and then make out in a field of hay. Totally. Okay, brows are done. Now I'm going to use some eyeshadow, and I'm not going to do a lot of eyeshadow, but I think I want to brighten a little bit, and then I also want to add a little bit of like shape and definition, but pretty subtle. And then I'm going to do a little bit of like eyeliner and lashes kind of smudged in. So it's natural, but just so like, yes, I do have eyes on my face. They're there. There's two of them and you can see both. Because otherwise sometimes they just sort of like retreat into my face. And I look like, you know, like a creepy doll with no features painted on it yet. And that's not what I'm trying to project as like my identity. This is my large gray palette that has kind of my most used like personal eyeshadows. It's a mix of pretty much Marc Jacobs, a couple of ColourPop, maybe, yeah, and some old Makeup Forever ones that I don't like speak of or promote usually, just because they're not cruelty free. But I bought these previously and I don't want to waste them. I think I'm gonna use this. It's like kind of a light gold, and I'm just going to like touch it onto the center. There are definitely other eyeshadows that could give this effect at this point that are cruelty free, but I don't like to buy stuff I don't have to buy. I don't like to throw away stuff I don't have to throw away. So actually I'm noticing a very similar color to Warm Tan, which is on my face. I maybe could have just used the cream tint. Didn't really think of that. It's just kind of an understated gold is the point. A lot of the time gold eyeshadows, something that I love about them is that particular type of mica like picks up and like adheres really well. So a lot of times gold eyeshadows are like strong and pigmented, which is like a nice thing for the most part. But in this case, I want it to be pretty chill. I'm gonna dust a little bit of that underneath with a small brush. I'm positive there's a comparable shade in a ColourPop palette, and probably be cheaper too. And I'm gonna use this Marc Jacobs shade that's a taupe. It's a pretty good taupe color. I'm going to put it along the lash line on like the outer half. I'm using a relatively small brush because I don't want to like darken the whole area, and I have a little head with little eyes, and then up into the brow bone a little bit just to add some dimension. As you can see the difference there. Subtle, great. And I'm going to use this Beauty Bakerie liner, and I'm just going to press it into my lashes. Like, I'm not actually trying to do a winged liner or anything intense. I just want to, you know, not look like a doll with no features painted on it, or a thumb, or any of the other things that I sometimes resemble. Ooh, and I want to make a big blobby blob. That's my other thing that I wanted to do. So check, did that, good, great. I'm testing out a theory right now. I'm going to use this little brush, and I just kind of like rubbed it on a clean baby wipe, and I'm wondering if that's enough moisture to smudge this. The nice thing about the Beauty Bakerie liner is that it is water resistant but not waterproof, so it's a little more forgiving when you accidentally do what I just did. So apparently I am doing winged liner. That's fine. Wasn't the plan, but roll with the punches. Now I'm going to put on some mascara and lashes, and I'm not going to talk during that, and I'm just going to skip it. Regarding the guitar, the other night I was practicing just some like easy songs to get back into it, build my calluses back up, and I was like, hey, I should learn one of the songs that was one of the first songs I learned when I first started to play the guitar when I was like 14. And so I started learning What's Up by Four Non Blondes, and the lyrics got a little bit too real. And also, you know when you go to do something that's so simple that you're not paying enough attention, and then you mess it up and you feel like very, very stupid? Maybe you don't. I'm familiar with that. I do it often. I was recording myself I find that's helpful for practice. Catch things you don't notice. And I had a little meltdown of giggles based off of both my struggle and the way the lyrics were resonating. I was thinking maybe I should share that because maybe you would enjoy it. Okay, now I'm gonna put Rose on my lips. Let's keep it super simple. Just using that Nothing else. So that is it, my friends. So this is it. I'm not sure what I'm gonna wear yet, but I feel very professional right now. So I think it's good. Just a little reminder for you guys, if you order the mini palette or the large gray palette, those are in pre-order now. They'll be delivered in October. I highly recommend ordering them now because they're going really fast, which is amazing. But also, at this point, the earliest you can get it is October, and then once that pre-sale runs out, like the stock that we have that we're making right now for October, that will probably run out before October, and then it's going to be like, trying to make it the next one for the holidays. So small business, we put a lot of care into production, so it just takes a little while, going through some exciting growing pains. But anyway, you can use the code BUNDLE to get 30% off of bundles, which is just any palette plus at least 4 of the cream tints, and I recommend doing that now. We still have some of the black palette in stock, and I don't think we're going to restock it for the foreseeable future. So if you wanted a black palette, I would go grab it now because there's only a few left, and then it's gonna be gone for, if not forever, a long time. All right, thank you guys for watching. I really hope you do leave your book suggestions and rom-com suggestions. I need it for my soul, actually. So please do that. I love you so much, and I will see you soon. Bye.
And I try. Oh my god. And I try. Oh my god, I try. Cleanse. I try all the time in this institution, and I pray. Oh my god, do I pray? I pray every single day for evolution. And so I cry sometimes when I'm lying in bed just to get it all out while it's in my head. I forgot where I am. Get it all out while it's in my head, and I'm feeling a little peculiar. And so I wake up in the morning and I step outside and I take a deep breath and I get real high and I scream from the top of my lungs, what's going on? Woo! And I said, what's going on, guys? Topical. I think I'm done now.